Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're tackling a really big one, a question that seems to be everywhere, especially in the UK. Does the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg just constantly overrule the British government? I mean, if you just listen to the headlines, you'd think that's all that happens.
Yeah, you really would. And our mission today is to, cut through all that noise with some cold, hard data. We're going to look at the actual numbers, the applications, the wins, the losses, even the costs to see what's really going on.
Okay, and I guess there's some history here we need to remember first.
Just a little, but it's important. The UK actually helped create the ECHR, and later, the Human Rights Act brought those rights into our own law. And that means, and this is the crucial bit, you have to try the UK courts first.
Right, that makes sense. So let's dive in. You mentioned applications. What are the raw numbers there?
Well, they look pretty big at first glance. You've got 379 in 2021, 327 in 2022. It seems like a constant stream of challenges.
It does sound like a lot.
It does, but here's the key fact, the real nugget. Something like 95 to 98% of those applications, they get thrown out immediately.
98%.
Yep, they're just dismissed. Usually because, our own courts have already handled it properly, or the applicant didn't even use the UK system first. So in most cases, they never even leave the waiting room.
Wow. Okay. So for that tiny, tiny fraction that actually makes it through the door, what happens then? This must be where the UK is constantly losing.
You'd think so from the noise, wouldn't you? But no, the UK's track record is actually incredibly strong. If you look at a fairly calm period, say 2009 to 2021, there were about 50 final judgments involving the UK.
Okay, 50.
And out of those 50, the UK won 32 of them. It was found to have no violation. Only 18 found a violation over all those years.
So what does that break down to, like, per year?
It boils down to a country of 67 million people losing, on average, just 1 to 3 Strasbourg cases a year.
1 to 3. A year. That just completely changes the whole context of the political debate, doesn't it?
It really does.
So how does that compare to our neighbors? Are we, fighting this battle alone?
Oh, not at all. In fact, you could almost call the UK the teacher's pet. France, for example, it regularly has 10 to 20 violations found against it each year. Germany loses more per capita. And then you have countries like Turkey with 100 to 150 losses a year, or Russia before it was expelled, which had 200 to 300.
So our record is exceptionally good then.
It's exceptionally compliant. It suggests the UK system, for all its flaws, usually gets it right before it ever needs to get to Strasbourg.
Okay, that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the money. We always hear about the crippling costs, the legal bills. It must be millions, right?
I mean, you would think so, but the actual number is, well, it's hilariously small. The total annual bill for the defense, for any compensation for administration, it's somewhere between, say, 400,000 and 850,000 pounds. Let's just call it $1 million to be generous.
£1 million, that's it.
That's it. And to put that in context, that is 1/700th of the estimated cost of the Rwanda plan. It's less than the stationary budget for a medium-sized NHS trust. It's a rounding error.
It's basically peanuts. So, okay, this is the core of it then. The data is almost boring. Few cases, we win almost all of them. The cost is tiny. So where does this massive disconnect come from? Why does the public perception seem to be the total opposite?
It's all about selective visibility. It's driven by politics and headlines. Think about it. When the ECHR agrees with the UK court and says policy is fine, that's not a news story. It's silence.
Right. Nobody reports on a non-event.
Exactly. But one single, high-stakes, really emotive case, like a controversial deportation getting blocked, that gets front-page coverage for weeks. The court is only visible when it annoys a minister that one time. The other 99% of the time, it's just working as intended and usually affirming what the UK has already done.
So the takeaway for everyone listening is pretty clear. The data just doesn't support the narrative of a crisis. It's a perception gap, not a sovereignty gap.
Precisely. And that really leaves you with a final thought to mull over. If the UK really only loses 1, 2, maybe 3 cases a year, what specific high-stakes issue must that one case be about to justify the immense political spotlight it receives? Next time you see that headline, it's worth thinking about that.